Hello, dear listeners. I hope you are doing fine. In this lesson today, we want to look at one of the African poems that we have as recommended by West African Education Council. And this is the practical appreciation of Niyi Osundare's The Leader and the Led. So today in this lesson, we want to look at the background of the poet and of the poem. So also the foregrounding notes on the poem as pertaining the features of the poem, the form of the poem, and the subject matter of the poem. So let's get going and see what it is about. The Oshundare hails from Ikere Ekiti, and that is from the southwestern parts of Nigeria. He is a world-class poet and also an emeritus professor of English studies. The man at the same time has taught brilliantly at the University of Ibadan. He is a great scholar, and Niyo Sundar is currently an emeritus professor of English studies in the United States of America. Beside academics, Professor Osundare is a public analyst and also a political activist who believes in bare democratic and fiscal control tenets as instruments of a governance, which is capable of fast-tracking advancements in a multi-ethnic society like Nigeria. The subject matter of Professor Shundare's The Leaders and the Led is predicated on the above noted poet's peculiarities. That is, he looks at what brings about advancement of economy and the social life of the people in a given society. That is about the background of the poet and of the poem. So let's go directly now to the foregrounding notes on the poem. And I'm starting with the features of the poem. You can as well call it the structure of the poem. Under this, Niyo Sundare's The Leaders and the Led is an allegoric socio-political commentary. When we say allegoric, it means a situation whereby a literary writer presents the literary work using animals as characters. That is what is meant by the word allegory as one of the devices in literature. So this poem is presented using animals as characters, but indirectly, these animals stands for the people we have in the society. So this is a way or strategy used by a literary writer to avoid mentioning a person's name. That is why. So this is allegoric socio-political. That is, it has to do with the social life of people in Nigeria or in Africa. So also the political aspect, a way of governing the people or the state. And also, the poem's allegoric feature is its use of animal setting, as I said earlier, and the world view as background in it. Indeed, the allegoric animal park stands for a multi-ethnic society. As we have it in Nigeria, we only have the three major as Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo, whereby we have some others that are sub-major as part of the society in Nigeria. Then the animals stand for the ethnic blocks in such society. That is, each of the animals used in this poem depict or represent each of the tribes or the ethnic groups that we have in Nigeria as a society or a nation. And the poem is crafted as a 30-line piece. That is, it is written in 30 lines, are made up of a simple sentences, clauses, phrases, and words. The 30-line piece exhibits enjambments. Enjambment is a device in literature that portrays run-on lines. That is, when the lines of a poem is written, the first one will not end, it will be cut off and continue in the second line, so also in the third line until you have full stop. So that is what is called enjambment. Another name for it is a run-on line. So actually, the 30 lines of the poem are just 8 grammatical sentences, as you can see. But the lines run from one line to another. But everything, the 30 lines is made up of what? 8 grammatical sentences. And we have in lines 1 to 4 as one sentence, 5 to 8, 9 alone, 10 to 13, 14 to 16, 17 to 20, 21 to 28, and lines 29 to 30. Again, the 30 lines of the poem are divided into 3 parts with the technique of the major ceasewire. Ceasewire means a stop or a pause in the lines of a poetry work as measured by meter. At lines 18 to 28, that is, lines 1 to 18 form part 1 of the poem, which harbors the fear and aspirations of the people of a multi-ethnic group as we have it. That is, from line 1 to 18, it has to do with fear by the people and also aspirations as they aspire to attain something. And also, lines 19 to 20 form part 2 of the poem, which indeed emphasize the need for leadership in any society. That is part 2 of it. It means what? It depicts need for leadership. That is, Africa or Nigeria need good governance. That is what that means. And also we have it in lines 21 to 30, which form the last part of the poem. And this spell out the type of article of faith or a constitution which the leadership of a multi-ethnic society must run for the led. And when we say the led, we are referring to the commoners or the people that are being governed. That is the led. So this is measured in excellent character. That is, to have a very good leadership, we have some traits in such a person to what? To bring or to journey the people of that nation to the shore of success. This is about the 3 parts of the poem. And from the allegoric background, Niyo Shundari's The Leader and the Led can be described as a poem of symbolisms. That is, we have a lot of symbols being used in the poem to represent something in one way or the other. So this is about the features of the poem or the structure of the poem. The next one is the form of the poem. Form-wise, Niyo Shundari's The Leader and the Led is a socio-political commentary, as I said earlier. It talks about or it analyzes the social and the political aspect of the people in that particular country. It could be Nigeria or any other country in Africa. It is an intelligent commentary on factors that make for mutual cohabitation, that is, peaceful coexistence in such a nation or society, in a multi-ethnic society precisely. So this is about the form of the poem. The next one, which is the last one, is the subject matter and the backbone, as the backbone of the literary work, which is the leaders and the led. The subject matter in Niyo Shundari's Leader and the Led is correct humanity. Thereby, the poem's message tips are as enumerated. From their peculiarities, the symbolisms of the lion and hyena give a message tip highlights that a multi-ethnic society rarely survives on some ethnic blocks, self-centered tenets, or born to rule syndrome, as we have it in Nigeria, when some people said they are born to rule. So, in that or a such society, it is very, very rare to have advancements. That is what this is talking about. And remember that the lion goes about with the dreaded urine toga. That is when lion is hungry. It will just what? Urinate round the circle or to a particular direction so that whenever any animal crosses the lane, that animal becomes prey, that is food for the lion. So as lion does that, as the king of animals, as also the hyena is always merciless to small animals and winged aviary, it always prays for food. So these two animals are used as symbols to depict the people governing or ruling a particular country. So in the symbolisms of the giraffe and zebra, as noted in the poem, the message is ambivalence and dishonesty with sacred cow syndrome will fail multi-ethnic societies smooth running. Zebra has two colors, black and white, which makes other animals to what? To believe that we can't have such a what? Such a leader as our leader. And the reason is they will be confused as to know whether this person will be good or bad because of the color. That is symbol. And also, giraffe is very tall as an animal, and it is believed, or let me say, it is the representation that if we have a leader like giraffe, the leader or such a leader will not know what is going on under it. Before giraffe could bend to see under it, many things will have gone wrong. That is the symbolism of this as pertaining the poem. And so also, that is, all must be equal before the society's law. That is, everything must be put in check to make sure that we have smooth running of the nation. In the symbolism of the elephants, we have the message tip, that is, as regard elephants as one of the characters, which symbolizes or which depicts the representation of a particular ethnic group in a nation. An ethnic bloc domination of every space in a multi-ethnic society must never be allowed as a playing card. It is seen that elephants, when it trudges the ground, on whatever grass it steps upon, it will never rise again. So this is a representation of a leader that has authoritarian rulership. Whatever he or she says, that is what goes. Nobody dares question his authority. That is what elephant stand for as pertaining the poem. And in the symbolisms of the warthog and rhino, warthog is believed to be ugly, which depicts that any ruler with such a what attribute will not have a sensible way of ruling the people in the society. And also, rhino is believed to be riotous, very, very aggressive and dangerous. So, if we have a leader as such, it is also believed that such a leader will not listen to the opinion of the people, but only ruling as they guide his own decision. And this message tip is leadership of any multi-ethnic society needs not to be placed in the hands of clueless and less intelligent personages. And in the simile of the snake without a head, the message is any society at all needs to have leadership. And also, lastly, in the symbolisms of the sage of the pack, that is the most wise character in the animal kingdom. Smooth running of any multi-ethnic society always thrives on consensus wise formulated article of faith or a constitution. That is, everybody must sit and agree on a particular way of making things run smoothly. That is what this means as regard the sage in the animal's back. Such article of faith or constitution must enshrine absolute care and respect for the various good interests of the constituents, that is, individual representation of the ethnic groups. The leadership of a multi-ethnic society must never be a nepotism construct, that is, do not favor one side and ignore the other, but a father figure to all. Above all, the personage for the leadership of a multi-ethnic society must be a practicing servant leader. That is, being a servant leader is a person who is going to lead and pay attention to the people you are ruling upon or the people you are leading. That is what is meant by servant leader. You listen to the people around you and you use the decision or the consensus to what? To govern. That is how you have advanced country or consensus when it comes to rulership, and everything runs smoothly as expected. This is all about the practical appreciation of the poem, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel as I always say, and enable your bell for notification of more videos to come on this channel. Share the link, share the channel, share the video, and let people know about it, and I'll be glad and also be motivated to do more. Thank you very much, and always keep safe.